Imagine buying businesses that everyone else believed were worthless and turning them into billions of dollars. Imagine becoming the first Black African billionaire, not through technology, social media, or inheritance, but by taking risks in one of the world's toughest industries, mining. While most investors ran away from failing gold mines, one man saw hidden opportunities beneath the surface. His name is Patrice Motsepe, and his remarkable journey transformed not only South Africa's mining industry, but also inspired millions across Africa. But here's what makes his story truly extraordinary. Before he built a multi-billion-dollar empire, he wasn't a mining engineer or a wealthy businessman. He was a lawyer who understood one powerful lesson. Sometimes the greatest fortunes are hidden inside problems that everyone else is trying to avoid. Patrice Motsepe was born on January 28, 1962, in Soweto, South Africa, during one of the most difficult periods in the country's history. Apartheid had divided the nation, limiting opportunities for Black South Africans in education, business, and employment. For many families, dreaming of becoming a successful entrepreneur seemed almost impossible. But Patrice grew up in a family that refused to let those barriers define their future. His father owned a small grocery store that also served workers from nearby gold mines. Every day, Patrice watched miners walk into the shop after exhausting shifts underground. He listened carefully as they discussed mining companies, gold production, and the challenges of the industry. Without realizing it, those conversations planted the first seeds of what would later become one of Africa's greatest business empires. Unlike many children, Patrice became fascinated by business at an early age. He observed how his father treated customers with respect, managed expenses carefully, and built trust within the community. These simple lessons taught him that successful businesses aren't built overnight. They grow through discipline, patience, and understanding people's needs. While other children dreamed of becoming athletes or entertainers, Patrice dreamed of building companies that could create opportunities for thousands of people. Education became his first major investment. Determined to build a better future, Patrice studied law at the University of Swaziland before completing further legal studies at the University of the Witwatersrand in Johannesburg. After graduating, he joined one of South Africa's leading law firms, where he specialized in business and mining law. Every day he worked with large corporations, negotiated commercial agreements, and studied how successful companies made strategic decisions. The experience gave him something more valuable than a salary. It gave him knowledge about industries that most people never fully understood. In 1994, South Africa entered a new era. Apartheid officially ended, and the country opened its economy to greater participation from Black entrepreneurs. While many people celebrated the political changes, Patrice focused on the business opportunities that were beginning to emerge. He knew that political freedom alone wouldn't create economic success. Someone had to build businesses, create jobs, and invest in industries that could move the country forward. Instead of remaining a successful lawyer, he decided to take a risk that would completely change his life. Leaving a stable legal career wasn't an easy decision. Friends questioned why he would abandon a respected profession with guaranteed income. But Patrice believed that building companies offered far greater opportunities than advising them. He understood that wealth is rarely created by staying inside your comfort zone. It comes from identifying opportunities before everyone else sees their value. The mining industry soon caught his attention. During the late 1990s, the price of gold had fallen sharply. Many mining companies were struggling to survive. Older mines with declining production were being abandoned because major corporations considered them unprofitable. Investors stayed away, believing these mines had reached the end of their lives. To most people, they represented failure. To Patrice Motsepe, they represented opportunity. He believed the problem wasn't the mines themselves. It was the way they were being managed. Large corporations often had high operating costs that made smaller mines difficult to sustain. Patrice realized that with efficient management, lower costs, and better leadership, many of these abandoned operations could become profitable again. It was a bold idea because if he was wrong, he could lose everything he had worked for. But if he was right, he would create something extraordinary. In 1997, Patrice founded African Rainbow Minerals, commonly known as ARM. The company began acquiring struggling mining assets that larger corporations no longer wanted. Critics thought he was making a terrible mistake. Why invest in businesses that experienced mining giants had already given up on? But Patrice wasn't buying failure. He was buying potential. He believed value still existed beneath the ground, waiting for someone willing to manage it differently. His strategy focused on efficiency, discipline, and long-term thinking. Instead of expecting instant profits, he patiently improved operations, reduced unnecessary costs, and invested in productivity. Slowly but steadily, the results began to appear. Mines that had once been considered liabilities started generating profits again. Investors who had doubted his vision suddenly began paying attention. Patrice Motsepe wasn't just saving old mines, he was proving that smart management could unlock value where everyone else saw only decline. That success marked the beginning of a remarkable rise. But gold would only be the first chapter of his story. Over the next few years, Patrice would expand far beyond mining, build one of Africa's largest diversified resource companies, become the continent's first black billionaire, and use his fortune to support education, healthcare, and entrepreneurship. His greatest achievements were still ahead. As African rainbow minerals continued expanding, Patrice Motsepe proved that his success was never based on luck. He diversified the company beyond gold into platinum, iron ore, coal, manganese, copper, and other valuable resources, transforming ARM into one of South Africa's largest mining companies. With each successful acquisition, his reputation as a visionary entrepreneur grew stronger. In 2008, he officially became Africa's first black billionaire, a historic achievement that inspired entrepreneurs across the continent. But despite his enormous wealth, Patrice never believed success should only benefit one person. He often said that a business becomes truly successful when it creates opportunities for others. That philosophy shaped everything he did. Through the Motsepe Foundation, he invested millions of dollars in education, healthcare, disaster relief, and youth development. He also became the first African to join the Giving Pledge, promising to donate at least half of his wealth to charitable causes during his lifetime. It was a powerful statement that true leadership isn't measured by how much money you keep, but by how many lives you improve. Beyond business and philanthropy, Patrice also became the president of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, using his leadership experience to help develop football across the continent. Today, Patrice Motsepe's net worth is worth several $billion, but his greatest legacy extends far beyond money. He proved that opportunities often exist where others see failure, that patience can outperform fear, and that long-term thinking creates lasting success. From a young boy listening to miners outside his father's grocery store to becoming one of Africa's most respected business leaders, his journey reminds us that extraordinary success begins with the courage to see possibilities where everyone else sees problems. If you enjoyed Patrice Motsepe's inspiring story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more billionaire documentaries from around the world. And tell us in the comments, which billionaire should we cover next? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.